Hello, nerds. How you doing? It is Wednesday, March 3rd. We're halfway through the week, and this is In Case You Missed American History for today. Yep. Okay, so if you're watching this, that means you couldn't make it to class today, and that is okay. I hope you're well. Hope those around you are well. And I hope that what I'm about to tell you doesn't confuse you too much. I'm talking about this first slide, by the way, not the World War II stuff. You'll be fine on that. All right, so I'm going to get you cracking through the things that we did today. Today was some big reminders, a mini lesson, and then work time on that big old assignment. If you're not sure what assignment I'm talking about, click on the classwork tab, and it will take you to something that says World War II work. And when you get there, you're going to find three things: oversimplified 1, oversimplified 2, and then the Holocaust. And you need to get those all done by next Monday. So we're going to have a heaping helping of work time this week. Okay. So some reminders. Mr. Sivrud, the principal, you may or may not have met him. He's a good dude. Asked me to go through some of these things with you, and some of them are just big reminders for me. We haven't done a reminder slide in a while, so I thought I'd throw one in. So first of all, on the American history end of things, there are only about 3.5 weeks left in this class. Okay, that's it. 3.5 weeks. And some of you guys are sitting pretty. By that, I mean your grades are golden. Things are looking good. You are crushing it, killing it, destroying it. 3s and 4s. Yay, you. Keep up the good work. Don't let it slip here in the end. Some of you guys are not quite maybe where you want to be. I've got a handful of people that are not where I want them to be for sure. And so some big reminders on that point. First of all, you can go into Infinite Campus and double check your grades. Look for late work that you owe. I don't know, maybe things you can take the feedback on and correct. But if you have zeros sitting in the grade book, I'll take the stuff. All right. You owe me things, get them in. I'll grade them. Grades should go up. Old tests. We've taken 3 tests so far this quarter, and there are some of you that owe me 3 tests. I'm still waiting on people to take that Roaring 20s Great Depression test from the beginning of the week. Getting a few more here and there. So as they come in, I'm trying to grade them. So please make sure you get those done. If you have any questions about things that you owe, or where it is, or what you need to do, or what is it called, or where's the link, just ask. I'm obviously going to help you guys out. I want you guys to do well, but I'm not handing you a grade. Okay. Now, next week, this is the part that Mr. Subert asked us to talk about. Next week, we've got a little bit of an oddity going on. Lights just went out, for Christ's sakes. Oh, can't even do the thing. There we go. Okay. So, first of all, this is only next week that it's going to be like this. So, get it down just in time to forget it. But Monday is going to be asynchronous, just like this week, where you don't have to log into Meets, but you need to check Classroom for work that teachers are going to have you do. I'm guessing that all 4 of your teachers are going to leave you something to do. I'm going to tell you that your job is to wrap up your World War II work that we got yesterday. So you're going to be able to use Monday to finish up any of that stuff that you need. Now, here's the oddity. Next Tuesday is also an asynchronous day, meaning that you will not have class. You will not log into Meets, but you are expected to check Classroom for the things that you need to do. The juniors are going to be taking the ACT that day. So if you're a junior and you're in American history, you are expected to be at school on Tuesday, all of you. 8 o'clock in the morning, it's about 1 o'clock, I think, or so, you're taking the ACT. For us, for American history, I'm going to use Tuesday as a catch-up day, okay? And what I obviously mean by that is that you're going to get that day to do what you need to do to get things done. If you don't owe me any work, if you don't owe me any tests, you get to take Tuesday off from American history, call it an American history weekend in the middle of the week. Wednesday next week, cohort 1, the A through L kind of group. I know there's a few of you guys who are not A through L and you're in that group. The A through L group are going to come in person and everyone else is going to log in online. And then Thursday and Friday, cohort 2 are going to come in person, and everyone else is going to log in online. So a little bit different, a little bit confusing, trying to lay it out so you're not as screwed up. The other thing about next week is we do shift to 80-minute classes next week. So we're bumping her up again, just as soon as we got it down. All right, we're going to bump up to 80-minute classes. That means that we're going to start at 8 in the morning. We're going to end at 2:21. Okay, 2:21. You're still going to have nutrition break. You're still going to get lunch, but lunch is going to move to third hour now. Lunch isn't going to be fourth hour anymore. Lunch is going to move to third hour, and we're going to go to 2:21. The buses are coming right at 2:25, so you're going to have to turn and burn out of this building fourth hour, basically. Okay. Don't forget that big assignment's due on Monday. And if you have any questions about any of this, please let me know. I'm sure there were probably some questions in class, but you didn't get to hear those. So there you go. All right. Our mini lesson for today is about America entering, hang on, gotta click again. America getting involved in World War II. So basically, here's the situation. Hitler builds up Germany. Mussolini builds up Italy. Japan is built up. And everybody else is kind of chilling like villains, trying to get out of the Great Depression. Then Hitler starts taking things. At first, the Allies were neutral. The Allies use this idea they call appeasement, which is kind of give him a little bit of what he wants to make him happy, but don't give him too much. But Hitler keeps taking and taking and taking. He takes Austria. He takes about half of Czechoslovakia. Takes a little bit of land, remilitarizes an area. Takes a little bit of land away from France. But no one really does anything. Then in September of 1939, Hitler rolls his tanks across the border into Poland, and World War II, as we know it, starts. Now, again, not the American part of things, okay? Meanwhile, Italy is doing things in Africa. Japan is doing things in Asia. But we start off this war as neutral, okay? We want to stay out of it. We think we learned from the last one. We want to stay out of it. We don't want to get involved. We think we've learned from our mistakes, and we're still messing with the Depression. But FDR and the United States do realize that Hitler is a threat. They realize that the Nazis are a problem and that we definitely need to keep an eye on them, and that, is there a possibility we could get pulled in? Yeah, of course. All right. And so in order to avoid some of the problems that we had in the First World War, the United States does this thing called cash and carry. Now, what that means is in the last war, you paid us, we shipped it across the ocean, and a lot of times our ships got sunk, and that helped pull us into the war. So this time, you can buy stuff from us. If you're at war, we don't care if you're Axis or Ally. Axis are the bad guys, Allies are the good guys. Okay, we don't care which side you're on, but you have to come to us, pay us, and haul it yourself. Again, pretty simple. You come to us, you say, I want 20 tanks. We make 20 tanks. You haul them back to England, Germany, France, wherever. We're like, good. No Americans are harmed in the making or shipping of these tanks. Yay, us. We're going to stay out of this. All right. And that works pretty well. And we make a lot of money for a while. And American businesses are happy, and no American ships are being sunk, and no American Navy personnel are in harm or danger. As a historical side note in there, FDR gets elected for a third time. He's the first and only president to ever do that. Actually, he'll get elected one more time for 4. But shortly after he gets elected, he becomes a little bit more daring. We actually pass something called as things get worse in Europe, and it looks like the Nazis are smashing through, we get a little bit more one-sided. And we pass something called the Lease Act. And basically what that says is that anyone is fighting against the Axis powers, Germany, Italy, Japan, can have weapons free of charge. You just show up and say, hey, we want 20 tanks, we load them on the boat. We go, no money. Government pays for them. Wow. Seems kind of one-sided. Now, Germany shows up, they can't have stuff, but England shows up. I don't know, what's left of France shows up. They get stuff. All right. But then we find out that the U-boats are sinking the British ships with all of our stuff on it. We don't like that. And so we don't want that to happen, because we want them to get the stuff so they can defeat the Nazis, so we can stay neutral and they don't have to worry about it, and we don't have to worry about it. And so what happens is we go, fine, tell us what you want. We'll make it. We'll give it to you, and we'll bring it to you. We're just not shooting. But then U-boats start sinking American merchant ships, and so FDR goes, hey, Navy, start sinking German U-boats. But we're not at war. We're neutral. We're giving things to the Allies, and we're shipping them for free, and we're not making them pay for them, and we're shooting German submarines because they might sink us for hauling stuff. But we're not at war. Okay. Seems a little weird. Okay, now, meanwhile, in Asia, Japan, the island nation, is a country that doesn't have a lot of natural resources, especially oil, iron, things like that. And they figure out that they don't want to pay for them anymore. And so they go out and start looking to take them. They take over chunks of China. They take over islands in the Pacific that have resources. And they start to take over some islands of some of our allies. And we go, hey, stop it. And they go, no, we're not going to stop. And we go, if you don't stop it, we're going to have a problem. We're not going to trade with you anymore. We won't give you oil. And Japan goes, oh boy, we've got two options. We can either A, do what they say, and we're mad at them because they always boss us around and they're basically a big bully, or B, we could sucker punch them, attack them, try to take out their navy, and then they're not going to be able to fight us. So they make the decision that B is the right answer, that they should attack us. And they decide that a surprise attack that'll wipe out our Pacific Navy is the best idea. Now, God bless America. Land that I love, stand beside her. That's twice in one video. Jeez, guys, I'm sorry. The Japanese decide that they're going to attack the U.S. Navy base where most of the Pacific Fleet is at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. Okay. Now, they do this on December 7th, 1941. Now, before that, the two sides have been trying to have peace talks. The Japanese even offered us a peace medal. We don't have that anymore. Someone said we strapped it to an atom bomb. Just, throwing that out there. But the Japanese has been practicing the surprise attack of Pearl Harbor. They knew how Pearl Harbor was set up. They had spies who were sending them pictures of here's where the boats are, here's where all the stuff is. And they had been practicing this attack so much that they were like 90 to 95% accurate in bomb drops, which is crazy accurate for back then. And so what happens is on the morning of December 7, 1941, Japanese Zeros, that's the name of their fighter planes, swoop into Hawaii. Now, the Americans had radar. They saw the planes coming, but radar was pretty new, and so they didn't know exactly what it was. And so someone said, oh, don't worry about it. It's just a flight of our own planes coming in with some supplies. And so they ignored the pre-warning that they had to get ready. Regardless, the Japanese came in unannounced, no declaration of war, and bombed where all the battleships and destroyers were. They bombed the air base that was at Pearl Harbor to take out the airplanes so nobody could get up in the air and fight them. The couple of mistakes they made, first of all, they went to where the aircraft carriers were, and the aircraft carriers were gone. Aircraft carriers are probably the most important boat in your Navy back then because you can launch planes from them. The aircraft carriers were out in the ocean on exercise. Some people think that is a little sketchy, but we'll maybe get to that another day. Regardless, the Japanese destroy 18 ships, including the USS Arizona, which is now the monument from which oil bleeds, and there are still the bodies of the people that were stuck on the Arizona. They're still in there. And many of our airplanes were destroyed. But again, our aircraft carriers survive. The Japanese do not bomb our submarine yards, and they do not take out any of our fuel stocks on Pearl Harbor. And so a lot of people view that as a major mistake by the Japanese Army because we were able to fix some of the ships, rebuild more, and be ready to fight pretty quick. Roughly 2,400 U.S. People were killed in the bombing at Pearl Harbor, and this was enough to make FDR go to Congress and ask for a declaration of war. And in his speech, he said that December 7th, 1941 is a day that will live in infamy. Infamy as being famous for a bad thing. The United States declares war on Japan. We declare war on all of Japan's allies, which would be Italy and Germany. The Germans aren't so happy, but now they know that we're coming. Okay? Now, use the rest of your day to work on the big assignment, work on any of that old stuff. Remember, do all the things I said in the first slide. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.